Um, well, as you guys all know, I am not a counselor, so I do not see any clients, but I do have had one friend who did come to Gateway of Hope, and I'm trying to be like not descriptive. Um, but I had a friend that when I started working here was really interested in counseling after I kind of explained to her my experience here, some of the calls I get, some of the women that I have seen regularly going in and out of the office. And then when I first joined, I talked a lot with Tina Romero, and I would say Tina was probably one of the most helpful people when I first moved back to Kansas. And I told my friend about her because I would always say, we'd be like together on a weekend, and I'd always say, well, Tina said this. And I, when she graduated, I actually gave her a card that said, thanks for all the free therapy, because I think Tina like helped me so much with a lot of stuff that I was going through just from conversations I had with her. And so I told my friend about this, and then she started coming to Gateway of Hope under one of our grants. And she's not a believer, but she still wanted to come. And she just had nothing but like amazing things to say about Tina. She was really learning a lot about herself and learning a lot about how to move through some very traumatic things that happened to her, and just had a lot of growth in that year. We both kind of did. And she was always so excited to tell me just points that she's learned from Tina. Um, she was always it was really hard for her to come, but she started to connect the dots with a lot of things and her parents and just the different type of neglect that she's experienced and kind of rewrite her own story. Because she was a former believer, but I think a lot of pain and trauma can detour our hearts away from the Lord. And so it was a really cool thing to watch her, in a way, be brought closer to Him, although she might not have realized it, but she was becoming to be more whole, um, and someone that didn't want to continue patterns that she saw growing up. And so, as a friend that benefited a lot from just conversations with Tina, it was really cool to know that um, I experienced healing with it. And I also, they were just talking about it with a friend. She got to experience that as well. And so it's still stuff that we kind of talk about to this day, like 2 years later. So that is it.
Can you share a little bit about what her struggle was? And you mentioned that it was difficult for her to come. Can you say a little bit more about either one of those things if you're comfortable?
Yeah, I don't want to give like away a lot, but a lot of it was like maternal issues. Just seeing a bad pattern with her mother. It was hard to come because I think she was used to numbing things. Um, it was also, I think, hard for her to visit because there's a lot of other options to choose from and not therapy. Um, and so I think she had to really admit to herself that she needed help. And but I think that she wanted to do the work because she saw the different work I was doing. And I think that inspired her to keep pressing forward, because she just has been in a lot of abusive relationships, and her mom had a really bad pattern of that as well, and not a lot of consistency in her life, um, probably ever. And so she's kind of always just taking care of herself. And so she's kind of learned to trust people more with the help of Tina, and has learned to trust herself, in making decisions and knowing triggers and how to respond to those, without making rash choices like she would used to in the past. So I think her choices and decision making got a lot better for sure. And she was able to, be with someone now to this day who's um, like really wonderful for her. And that's really awesome to see as a friend that she did a lot of that work. So their relationship has been really well. So I'm really grateful for Gateway and definitely Tina Romero. She's actually in the office today.
Oh, good, good, good. Yeah. Any other comments, thoughts, or questions? All right. Well, thank you for sharing that story, Alicia.
Yeah.